Guys, so just getting everything ready this morning. We got, like I said, I had the car loaded last night, so that was ready to go, and then went inside and got all my other stuff together. So now that she's got everything loaded in the truck while I was taking a shower and everything this morning, which really helps out. So now all we got to do is load the car and get the hell out of here. Oh, we'll run inside and see if I can find some bumpers, bumper reflectors, or look at that. Look at that. Got one. My black bumper. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put that on when I get this thing outside. But yeah, so I can actually put my bumper reflector in there so the car actually looks balanced and not half-assed. So yeah, let me close the hood real quick and then we're gonna start this guy up and get out of here. You got it? All right, well, we got the car loaded up. We got a couple random things we're gonna grab and then we're gonna be on our way out of here. Well guys, we got our Mickey D so we can stuff our face. We got Van Halen going on Sirius Radio right now. Let's go do some racing. Alright guys, so we're here at the track. We're parked next to Greg and we're gonna unload everything right now. So this video today, we're going to do it a little bit differently than my other track videos. Normally I would post a slip at the end of the race, but with this one, the slips that they were printing out were actually so hard to read that even having it in my hand, I had to squint and look really hard to even read it. So unfortunately, we're not going to put them in the video because you guys are just not going to be able to see that. All right, so Wheels and tires are on the car. We got the air pressure set. We got fuel in the car. We checked the oil, wiped the car all down, and got my numbers on, so the car is all ready to go. So basically, we just got to wait for him to call lanes, double check tire pressure, put my gear on, and we're racing. So we'll bring you guys back in there. The log, the HP tuner's lost it. I don't know why. But 134 miles an hour, guys. That's fast. It was a 10.903 with a 186. And our 8th mile was a 7:18 at 101. So our mile an hour at the 8th mile is down like 3 or 4 miles an hour, but we're up 2 at the top end of the track. So I get that short track right, or if I get that short track right, this thing's gonna run a number. So I'm probably gonna go down in, well, I don't know if I wanna go down in tire pressure now. I'll probably go down in 2 steps, see how it feels, and then see if we can get a good lead, and then shift into second and see if it'll ride. It did shake a little bit this time, but it drove right through it. And I wonder if that's why my 8th time is down, which would make sense, but 10.903 at 134. Wow. We'll bring you guys back in later. Making no boost, so I'll have to figure that out. What the hell's going on? Alright guys, so I got out, got underneath the car, found out that it did kick the coupler off, and it must have been on the top end of the track on the first pass when we went 134, because even going into the burnout on this one, it didn't really make much boost. The burnout was super lazy, so like I said, we went underneath, got that fixed, didn't even think about grabbing the camera. I was just more or less wondering what the hell happened, and then I got right to fixing it so I could try and get back up before they started running any classes. So we got her fixed up, got back in the lanes, and here we are making another pass. Something. Yeah, it was shit. Well, somebody had oiled the track down, and they basically oiled it from like 600 feet all the way to the 8th mile and a little bit past that. So I don't know whatever was left on the top end of the track. So they spent like the last hour cleaning the track. So we're just waiting in the staging lanes to get up there and run again. I mean, we're pretty early up. We should be 3rd or 4th pair down when they do fire us all back up here. So I'm hoping to get at least another pass for the night, and then we'll see what happens after that. But we'll bring you guys back in when we're ready to make that other whack. Well, finally got the track ready. We don't have a headwind anymore though. And the air's air's almost 10 degrees colder than it was. So we'll see what happens. The worst part about this race is I span so bad in 2nd gear that it upset the car and I missed 3rd gear, and then I got frustrated with myself and missed 4th. Otherwise I should have won, but it is what it is. when I beat the Mustang.
Still didn't hear it. What?
11.5?
Oh shit. I was thinking it was 10 something.
No. You what? On the Mustang? Oh yeah. Last one, yeah. Yep. I just did, yeah.
I didn't know the line was that short.
Nobody's going right. Everybody's single file left. So I just drove up and got in the right lane.
Would you run that route?
I went an 1180. Which,
11.5 and it felt a lot faster.
yeah, so my clutch is slipping bad. Like this morning, first pass I went at 1090 at 134. This last one I just went 11.5 at 127. Yeah, thanks man. I like your Charger by the way. It looks cool with the red badges and everything. Alright, gotcha. Right on. Nice car. It ain't the clutch.
What is it?
It actually built mile an hour. It was spinning in fourth gear.
What was this last one?
11.5. I need tires.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need tires. Fucking tires are shot.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
I got some with me right now, but it's 718. Well, I'm gonna swap them. I'm gonna maybe make one more. Kind of lean back on the wheel shake there, but we beat the shit out of that car. It was a good time. We actually nailed all our gears, so I think the car getting upset spinning is what's locking me out. Hold on, okay, yeah, no problem. Well, we didn't get another one. But we stopped around and we made the choice to go to the 13s, and I should have sooner. Because we just went on a 1076 at 127. Yeah, they said that they're done. Hey, 1 at 1076, I'm okay with it. And we got that 134, so that's, I mean, we were at least taking one record home today, not both. Not the one I wanted, but I got one. Yeah, I think the tires on my 15s are just white. They are kind of bald, and I knew that putting them on. I was just hoping to see if we could make something work with them, but it didn't happen. I mean, we went out there and we killed that mile an hour, so it's like I was just telling my mom in the 2-way, I'm just waiting for her to get up here. I wanted the ET record, mile an hour record I didn't really worry about, but I mean, we leave this season with a record at least, so we got the mile an hour. We'll get this thing on a dyno, we'll see what it makes, and then we'll play with cam timing, see if we can push more power up top, and we'll get this thing back out in the spring and we'll really start chasing numbers. So, like I said, when I built the car, the goal was 1050s and 135. We've been 134. Now we just need to get to 50s. Oh, we did something.
We did. Made a difference changing those tires.
Yeah. The car is so much happier.
We'll get it figured out.
But I was just telling the camera, those 15s are pretty white. I mean, those tires are probably like, that's it, like the end of the road. All right. So anyway, we're gonna swap the wheel. So I was upstairs and I was editing that video, and I didn't want to end it just like I did. I wasn't sure what we were going to do for the rest of the year, so at the time when I ended the video, I was thinking that that was probably going to be our last track day of the season. And after a few days of thinking about it, looking at the weather and everything we got going on in the next few weeks, it's probably going to be the case. Everybody that I would want to go to the track with is either going to go this weekend or they're already done for the year. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get my shot at the Hellcat Dakota unless for some reason I could talk him into going back to pump gas. But he did go to E85. That truck's a lot faster now than it was before. I'm hoping to see this thing go really fast this weekend. Definitely going to keep an eye on Facebook for that so I can stay updated with it. So definitely good luck, buddy. That truck's going to be stupid fast. I can't wait to see this thing go down the track on the new power with the new brakes and everything like that. So now you have no excuse to not go to any of our tracks that we go to. So now that you got brakes, I don't want to hear it anymore. But anyway, yeah, so like I was saying, I think that was going to be our last day of the track, or last track day of the year. So what I'm going to try and do here within the next couple weeks while the weather is still relatively the same to what we've been racing on over the past, few months, I want to try and get this thing to a dyno. If I can get to a dyno with a decent, 60 to 80 degree day, and we could see what this thing makes for power before I make any changes, because what we're going to do over the winter is we are going to put valve springs in the car. The valve springs that are in it, I was thinking about it the other day. There's 137,000 miles in the springs before I rebuilt the motor in 2013, and then we reused the stock springs and valves and everything. The only thing that we did was we took the cylinder head up to get it cleaned, and then did new bearings, bolts, just hardware, and then put everything back together, stock cams, stock rod piston, all that stuff. So we put the motor together. We put about 45,000 miles on it after the rebuild in my black car, and then I did probably another 10,000 in my blue car, and then however many miles we've got it on it with the motor in this car over the last 2 years. So those valve springs have pretty close to 200,000 miles on them. So like I'm saying right now, what I'd like to do is get this thing to the dyno, see what it makes as it sits. That way we have an idea, because I know I've gotten that question a lot of times, with the car being as fast as it is, how much power does it make? I have no idea, guys, I'm sorry. I'd guess low 400s. I know it gets real fat up top, so we're running out of air and boost. So I don't know if that's, valve springs getting weak on us, or if we're just making that much back pressure in the manifold that's causing that. But regardless, I'd like to see what it makes as it is. We're going to change the valve springs. I did have this thing spinning up almost to 6,400 the other day. Those valve springs should definitely help me out on the top end regardless with these 200,000 mile factory valve springs. In addition to what I was talking about the other day at the track when we were closing the video while I was waiting on my mod to get to the car, I wanted to go 10s with the thing. Ideally, when I built the car, the goal was to at least go 1080s. And I wanted to see at least 130 miles an hour. We've seen 134, we've been 1071. We're within a couple hundredths of the BWS record. We have the mile an hour record, but I want that ET record so bad. So we're gonna do a couple updates over the winter. Like I said, we want to dyno this thing, see where it's at. We'll get the car back, we'll make our changes. We'll get it back to the dyno, we'll play with cam timing. We'll see where we can shift power around, see if we can make more up top, and then we'll get this thing back to the track. So over the winter, that's gonna be the plan. We're really not gonna change much. I'm gonna get a headlight duct. We're gonna do the valve springs, maybe a clutch setup, and then we're gonna add a couple bars to the roll cage. We're gonna go a bar from here to the side, do the same thing on the other. And then we'll just paint the floor, kind of clean it up here and there. We'll blue the cage, paint the shifter base black. I don't think I'm gonna take the dash out and redo all of that. I'll at least do the steering column and the fuse box bracket. If I feel like I really want to feed all those wires back through the dash, I will. But at this point, I don't think that's what I'm gonna do, but nothing's ever set in stone yet. I do have months now before we can get back out. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody that supported us throughout the year. Matt at Turbo Bay for hooking us up with the turbocharger and the manifold, and following up on the product and keeping an eye on our progress, and all the help that he's had with the other cars, because he's doing the turbo on this car. He did the turbo for my blue car. The man's probably going to do every single turbo that I have from this point on. If I got to send it in to get it rebuilt, it'll go to Matt. If we want to put bigger wheels in it, it'll go to Matt. Definitely no question there, guys. Turbo Bay is a beast of a company to do your turbocharger work. So definitely want to say again, huge thanks to Matt. Huge thanks to Mark for the help tuning. This thing is crazy. People look at the log and they're like, oh, the tune's so f***ed up, it's all f***ed up. You're gonna hurt the motor. Well, we've had similar tune-ups in the cars for the last 4 or 5 years and I've yet to hurt a motor. The only thing I'm hurting is driveline parts. So I can't say it's gonna hurt the motor because we've been beating the hell out of it the way it is. Regardless, these guys aren't tuning my car. Mark, huge thanks again, buddy. All the helpful information that you give me when we put this thing together, and then your knowledge with using the fuel to give it the timing we are, run the air fuel that we are, and it's working. So, and again, everybody else that's been supporting the channel, you know, supporting our channel, supporting the racing, Facebook, you know, information, you know, with our friends, you know, Chris, Matt, and all the Joshes and everybody that's helped me work on the car. Matt with the roll cage, my other buddy Matt with some of the videoing that he's done, and then helping paint with the other car, as well as track support with Matt, Josh, Kyle, Justin, you know, my family, everybody. It's just, it's crazy the amount of support that we get when we go racing. So I definitely love it. That's why we do it. But this is going to be a wrap on our 2020 racing season, guys. So we're gonna make a couple changes with the car, and we'll come back out 2021. And Chris, I'm coming for that record. That BWS record won't be in the 60s for long. I guarantee you we're gonna push this thing to at least the 50s, maybe the 40s. We'll see. For just whatever reason, I didn't have the track surface that was good enough to work with. You know, we've seen the car make a bunch of mile an hour. I got lucky on a couple 60 foots, and then the car fought us. But as it went through the day, we lost the track. So on that, it is what it is. But anyway, I am gonna wrap this one up, guys. Like I said, I didn't want to leave the video hanging where it was, so I'm gonna bring this one in. Thank you everybody that's helped us out, everybody that's supported us, all the information that we've gotten from everybody, parts donated to the car. I mean, it's just, it's insane. It's really, really humbling and awesome to have all of you guys behind us to help us out to get where we are now. Granted, 1071's not the fastest thing out there. You know, there are guys out here that are going 6s and 7s that are just as thankful as I am right now, but it's all perspective. So definitely, thanks again, guys. Keep an eye on the channel though, guys. We're gonna have a lot of content coming this winter for build stuff. Not only with this car that we're working on, we got another one coming. I got my blue one that ain't done yet. I got some work on our orange Caliber that we gotta do yet. Changes on the white car here. I got a Cummins truck that I'm gonna put together. I got that blue neon outside that I wanna take apart and use for sandrail parts. And then with the trailer, we're going to paint the inside, do a few updates. That way we're not hauling stuff in and out of the trailer all the time, and make it a little more race car friendly, so we're not unloading parts from the car when we get to the track. I'll have a place for my tools, tires, axles, things like that that won't be in my car. So anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. Like I said, definitely check out our Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stay up to date on the content that we're gonna bring you. But we're gonna wrap this one up. You have yourself a good one. Stay safe, and we will see you at the track. Thanks.